Just push play.
I didn't charge.
Beans and cornbread beans. Oh, that's at the end.
I didn't charge the mic, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
I charged it before the last podcast, which was like an hour and a half. So technically, if they're not getting worse over time, we should have enough time.
So what are we talking about?
Well, first of all, I wanted to do something that I thought was funny.
Okay.
This is What's in the Box. We make podcasts for the American working man because that's what we are. That's what we care about.
You forgot to undo your tie.
Sorry. I thought that was funny. I thought about that on the way here, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
We can get into what I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about that for a second.
Tommy Boy?
Yes.
Oh.
Why is Tommy Boy and Oh Brother Where Art Thou such standout movies for you?
Tommy Boy, because it reminds me a lot of me way back in the day when I became a salesman. I became a
paint chips as a kid.
I didn't. It's kind of a long story that I'm not going to tell, but I was thrust into a sales position without
any sales experience.
And my boss's boss, because my boss had to go to a hospital and he's going to be out for a few months. My boss's boss said, "You can do this. You know the product, you know the installation technique, you know everything inside and out. There's not a better person that can do this."
You look like a Helen.
Yeah. And so I did, and surprisingly, it became very easy for me to sell my soul to the devil.
Once you got over
just the anxiety of going in to see a customer. Did you ever
do the read the label, so to speak, of
it's on the box.
do your prompt when you went in of like, well, we sell this and it's this and this grade and this and this.
No, not at all. I totally winged it. But to his point, I had known all this because I did all this way back here. So it was the anxiety. The anxiety was huge for me to get in the door. Once I was in the door, once I started talking to the owner, I was good. But for some reason, it was just like...
getting past the door?
Yeah, it was. It was really weird. And Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is just so way out there that I think you really got to have a different mindset to understand it.
To enjoy it.
And it's really weird that I believe I have that mindset. Oh, you're this wackadoodle and you understand it. So
I think there's something about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think Tommy Boy is exactly that statement of anybody can relate to Tommy Boy because are you going to be able to catch it? I don't know if I would do that. Ah,
look at you.
She did it. Anyway, I think Tommy Boy is just that it does appeal to everybody who's ever been in a working situation.
Yeah.
So anybody, plus, I mean, Chris Farley and David Spade is fucking, you put him in anything and it's hilarious, but I think that is what it is. So I think that's why. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think, in a sense, not so much the other way of like people that enjoy art films, but I think in a sense it's kind of like a niche audience.
It is.
Of like, you'll laugh at a couple things if you just watch it for face value, but if you're kind of looking into certain things or like, oh, like, I don't know.
Case in point.
Well, you'll find it'll be even funnier.
Case in point, and you and I both say this a lot, that people have seen the movie, they know this quote, but it doesn't resonate with them like it does us.
Yeah.
I don't get it, Big Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people just go, okay.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We're not one at a time in here.
We're mass communicate. That's hilarious too.
Anyway, but I wanted to talk to you in kind of a theological mindset, I guess.
I have to bring my Bible?
No. Of back in the day, before your time even.
Trojan horse days?
There was pretty close. There was news, or you had the newspaper.
Yeah.
The only way that you knew what was going on in the world is if you went down a penny or a nickel and you read the newspaper.
Mhm.
And then we got TV, and then there were
Hold on. Where was radio? Because you see
radio was in
those.
the no radio was before. You're right.
Because you see all these people on the farms, and they're
Yeah.
sitting by the radio listening to.
You're right. Radio came first, but then there was but that was only local news. If you wanted world news, there became, I think, if I'm correct, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a nationwide radio station that did do news. I don't remember what it's called, but then you get TV and you have 3 channels.
For
Sorry,
PBS.
2 of those being news channels.
Mhm.
So now you're getting national news. You're not just getting your small news or what they put into your newspaper that you read every day. And we had a trust as a country
That's all you knew.
in these news systems. And so if somebody were to write, I have a side theory about this too, but if somebody were to write an article on the war in Vietnam, that's what was going on.
Mhm.
You had no other reference. You had no
Mhm.
other cross reference. You weren't going to get a plane to go to Vietnam to ask them how it was going for them.
I don't want to jump forward, but that's all the truth you knew.
Yeah. But yeah, to your point, you kind of had no way to cross reference unless
You believed everything.
unless you had people that came home from wars or whatever and you personally knew them. You know what I mean? That was the only way you were getting a difference of opinion.
You believed Lee Harvey Oswald was a single shooter.
For your entire life.
Yep.
But so then we have a trust in our news system, okay? So all of our values and all the things that we base how the world works on is all from these things that we're trusting is 100% truth, okay? So then there are things in and around the Vietnam War that people start raising a flag to of, well, I don't really think this is going on. I don't really think this is really true of why we're over there. I don't really think.
Oh, yeah, good call.
But basis of the United States is still firm, and the news we're getting is the truth. So you got a couple, I shouldn't say a couple, wholesale, you got a couple that are raising a flag, but not enough in the general population.
You're starting to chip the ice now.
But you're starting to see that people are like, I don't really know.
Wait a minute, yeah.
So then you move forward, and that kind of goes away a little bit. You have some protests, some people being like, I don't trust the government, an anarchist point of view. But for the most part, that kind of settles down. Because, in my opinion,
you're over there.
Because we don't have a war going on, in my opinion. So there's no need for people to be like, I don't need to trust the government because it's small. Your government is only accessing this part of your life. So there's really no need to really question the government of like, oh, I didn't get this much in taxes this year. That sucks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then we get the internet, we get cross-reference, we get Facebook. Facebook is a big jump from the internet. I know everybody jumps on the internet of like, the internet is what made. I don't think so. I think the internet was a catalyst. I think the internet gave us the ability to search things. But as far as impact of other people's stories and whatever, we still didn't have. It was still, you had to go outside the country or have somebody have done that and come back and tell you. For it to really click in your head of like, oh, this is really happening out there. Because I can, for example, I can search Ed Gein, lived in Wisconsin. I can search up and do all the research I want. Unless I see it or unless I hear somebody that was around it or whatever, that's just a story to me. You know what I mean? It's not real life trigger in your head. And so I feel like that kind of helped in the like non-trust of the government, but it kind of was at a slow pace in my opinion. And Facebook is where I feel like it skyrocketed because now I'm able to talk to somebody in a war that we're in. I'm able to talk to somebody across seas. I'm able to talk to them, or at least in some form, and see that the impact that our government is doing over there is actually not what they're telling us, and get firsthand accounts. And it also bleeds into journalism too. Your journalists also are not only going across the country to do their journalism things, but they're also starting to put their own spin on it. Their own.
No, Tom, everything's great here. Look, you'll be.
Yeah, yeah,
Incoming missile.
yeah.
Don't look up.
and you're able to see it in real time.
Yeah.
Now. So sorry, long-winded to get to my point.
Yeah.
What I wanted to talk to you about is: do you feel like there's still some validity in the news construct as far as truth goes, or would you say that social media is more truthful wholesale than news itself?
I say neither. I don't. I've become very cynical to anything anymore because there is so much that is manipulated.
Fake news.
Fake news. It's, when you were saying, okay, so now you got a guy in eastern Pakistan, and you can see him. He posts on Facebook, and he posts a minute video. This is what's going on,
Yeah.
but it could be all fabricated for all you know. And now you, I say, are naive. You are naive enough
To believe it's
to
true.
believe it, and now you have hundreds of other people, thousands of other people that are going the same way.
Mhm.
And so now it becomes this huge tsunami of, oh my God, this is what's happening in East Pakistan. And that's not it. I mean, that was on a corner block
Yeah.
in a neighborhood, but that's not the whole big picture. You're not seeing everything.
It's like it's like the perspective of, and not to say this doesn't happen, but it's kind of like the perspective of all people in the project just sit there and shoot and kill everybody.
Yep.
Okay, that may happen here,
Yep.
but that doesn't mean it's happening everywhere.
It's kind of like saying if you're in the projects, you're never going to get out.
Yeah.
But you still hear stories of that guy that became
Mhm.
an NBA superstar.
So how do you how do you personally, but how do you think the world should move as far as information and as far as
I don't have an answer.
informing yourself?
I don't have an answer. I mean, the best I can do is, for the most part, watch the national news, which in the regular 3 channels, but I've become a little disheartened with that too, because now you're hearing like 60 Minutes pulled a segment right at the last minute. That's not free speech. That's corporate saying, no, you can't run that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're telling me in that statement that I just made is you're shoving shit down my throat,
and that there is
that you want me to believe,
and that there is some sort of censorship.
Correct.
Even if that's in a form of protecting your business, because I also understand that, of like with cancel culture and with people like, I can shut your shit down if I just don't like you.
Yep.
As a company, I understand that segment might not be controversial, but it could be. So we're just not going to, on the off chance that might be the one to shut us down. But also that proves that there is some sort of censorship, whether that comes from the government or whether we made that, which I think in a lot of ways we as a country made that censorship for ourselves.
What irritates the hell out of me is people can't be honest anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you a good recent example.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Everything that's going on in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah.
Now, the war machine, for lack of a better term, we're going to send ICE agents and we're going to clean out everything from town to town to town. Chicago. Now we're in Minneapolis. I understand why you're doing it,
Mhm.
but you're not doing it for what you're saying you're doing it for.
Yep.
You're trying to create a thug basis
Yep.
of your own, and so now your ego head is this huge that I'm doing the right thing and this is what we're going to do and blah blah blah. And there's such a Britney Spears train that we
Yeah.
talked about, that the machine is so big we can't stop it. Now, what happened in Minneapolis could have been easily said, it got overblown. The officer acted out of fear. The officer was wrong to pull his gun. The officer was wrong to shoot her dead, which I believe
Mhm.
all is 100% true.
Yep.
But because the machine is so big, you can't back down. You have to say, we are right. We're 100% right.
Well,
There's nothing you can say that.
Well, that's what I was saying to you about.
And just to be clear, as I've told you, he could have easily stepped out of the way. If you watch the video, guy comes up and, she's blocking traffic purposely. Okay,
Mhm.
get out of the way. So she's trying to back up and get out of the way, in my opinion,
Mhm.
and tries to drive away. You wanted her out of the way. She's getting out of the way. But this one guy stepped in front
Yep.
of her and ended up pulling his gun and shooting her dead.
Yep.
And you, as the government, could have said, again, mistakes were made.
A misstep.
But the big machine
Get it?
is never going to say they made a mistake.
Well, I said that to you. And that kind of where this thought process came from was that. But I said this to you. I was like, I would have. I understand you can't please everybody, and I understand that no matter what the government would have said or anything in response, that's not good enough for some people. But for me personally, the admittance would have been enough for me. If you would have, you can do both, is what I'm saying. You don't have to just go far. I'm the government. I have to say everything that the government does is great.
Yeah.
You could have simply said, this went wrong. He shouldn't have been on duty, which he shouldn't have, because he already had an incident. They're supposed to take you off duty and you're supposed to have evaluation and therapy. And he didn't even have enough time to have that. So he shouldn't have been on duty at all, regardless. But that's all you say is this was a misstep on our part.
We will continue to do what
We
our
will
job.
try. We will try to do better in the future. We apologize to the family that this affected. That's it.
Yep.
You're doing both.
Yep.
You're saying that the government is still there doing what they're supposed to do, but you're admitting that the death of somebody is actually, I don't know, impactful. That it matters to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which I think that's where a lot of people got upset, is that when Trump did his speech about it, or even the police department, it was a very cold, very pointed of, well, I know that this happened, but she did this, instead of a humanity about it on both ends of, I get that a life was lost. And that's my problem with,
there's no
people,
humanity to
with
it anymore.
people going back and forth online about this situation in particular, is that I don't care who was right. I don't care who was right. I don't care that ICE is stupid. I don't care that he shot first. I don't care that Han Solo may have killed him. I don't get it. I don't care. The point is, an American was killed on American soil in front of a crowd. That's it.
Yep.
That's what you should be concerned about.
Yep.
It shouldn't matter whether she should have stayed home because she had kids.
No.
Does that matter?
No.
No.
You're trying to divert.
Doesn't. It doesn't.
That's all you're doing there.
The point is, we should be upset that somebody was killed out in the open, an American citizen. That's it. Now you can go back and forth, but that should be the main thing
There's
you're
no
upset
sense
about.
of humanity anymore.
But everybody wants to, for your machine story, everybody wants to defer back to their side.
Yep.
And I feel, tying back into what I said before, I feel like because we have what we have for news outlets, because I can write an article that, and I've seen many of them that are copy and pasted. I can write an article that says President Trump has 6 illegitimate kids that he won't take care of, even though he's the president, with no facts, no nothing, just a picture of him next to 6 people, and I can post it on Facebook. Most people will not research that. If
No.
I'm a news page,
Correct.
they'll look at that and they'll go, "Did you hear about Trump?" And then it spreads, and then everybody, and now it's fact.
Yep.
And it's for that side. I don't think people really want would be a good word, but I don't think people really want to know the truth. They want to be told it's the truth. They want somebody, the president, whatever, they want somebody to tell them this is true. So they don't have to think. They don't have to think about whether it's true or not. They don't have to do their own research. They don't have to say, well, he said this. They don't want it. Most Americans just want to be told, and they accept what they're told, and that's life as we know it. But that's very dangerous when you get into what
And
we
those
have.
people are voters, by the way.
But that gets really dangerous for when we're in this situation of news, of how we get our news, of how we get what's happening outside the country, of how we get all these things. Is that if there is no real, if it's all let me cater to one side or another, politics wise, or not even politics wise, people, like different types of people, like these types of people and these types of people.
Mhm.
Let's cater to that, then you don't really get any truth. And then you live your life. I mean,
You live your life being a lemming.
you live your life, in my opinion, you live your life looking stupid until one day you wake up or you see and you go, I can't believe I shut down all my friends. I can't believe I blocked all these family members and stuff because they didn't agree with me on this one thing. I can't believe I spouted this bullshit that was bullshit for so many years, and now I'm figuring out that it was a lie.
I don't believe that's going to happen a lot. I honestly don't. I think people are got blinders and they're so narrow-minded that I believe this, and I don't care what you tell me. And the biggest thing, I can't remember the huge saying that Ra showed me a long time ago was that you're presented with different information than what you believe, and you can actually research it and say, okay, I may have been incorrect here, and you can actually change your mind.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many people out there that can do that.
It just makes me it makes me sad at the fact that as a country, and I know I said this a lot, and a lot of people say this, and it sounds more and more to people that hear it of just white noise, but I think COVID really fucked that up. I think the fact that we had the ability to segregate ourselves by what we believe, which at that point was vaccine or no vaccine, and we were pushed by the media of, no, it's okay. Go tell them they're fucking stupid that they didn't take the vaccine. Go tell them that they're killing America. Go tell them.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were all pushed that our opinion and no matter how we said it or made people feel that we were justified because we were saving America, I think that fucked our whole society up to a point where now we're focused in that dopamine and adrenaline rush we got from being the person that's going to save America, being the Captain America, so to speak, of one person. And then you get a whole bunch of people that agree with you on Facebook or on social media, and they band together. And now you feel like America is behind you, and you're doing the right thing. I feel like that's bled into how we as Americans look now and go through life now, is that we got so spoiled is not the word I want to use, but it's close enough. We got so spoiled with that feeling all the time that we got to sit home and feel like superheroes because we're doing the right thing. That now that we're able to walk around and not have masks and whatever, we got so filled with that now we want that in other things. We want that with being a Trump supporter or not Trump supporter, or the government's lying to us. No, the government isn't. or we want to be on a side where we feel like we're the important one, or
I'm right.
we're not necessarily right in a sense of that, but more so in a we're the ones that are making the right decisions. Is that like it doesn't matter if it's right necessarily, just that we're the one moving progress forward, if that makes sense.
I was going to throw in there the whole.
Which is dangerous.
I was going to throw in the whole Jordan Klepper thing.
It's a good example.
Where he confronts people and clearly says, "But no, it's this, and you can see this, and they can't. They can't.
Yeah.
This is our blinders, and we have this on.
Yeah.
And what? No, because this is what I believe." I will also say the Donald Trump thing was very telling his first term.
Yeah.
When he said, "I can walk down the streets of Manhattan and shoot somebody in the head and nobody will care."
Yeah, and that specifically, that statement went viral for all of 30 seconds. And then nobody even remembers he says that. He says that.
But they do.
When it's convenient.
But they do. But it's so true, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like ingrained in the back of your head that, oh, yeah, he's the man, and I don't care. I can go grab a woman's pussy,
Yeah.
and that just totally blows past people. Like, I think I keep thinking to myself that character is not a big thing anymore, nor do people understand what it means.
Truly means? Yeah.
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 Yeah, character is far gone, and that's extremely disappointing. And I would hope you could get it back. I would hope there's a candidate out there that could come back that could say, keep hope alive kind of thing.
It would be, and I've talked to you about this, in my opinion, it would be a particularly hard thing to do to get back to zero as far as presidential candidates go. It would be very hard because, like, people don't know because they don't do research and they just listen to what they're told. The president is a figure. It's not true north. It's not the final say. It's not anything. All of your bills, all of your laws, all of your anything comes from the Senate and comes from Congress. He has the right to say no, which I think a lot of presidents don't take advantage of enough, in my opinion, of the veto policy of being a president.
That would take too much of my time to go dig into it.
Yes. But also, I feel like because of that, the initial thought was a good idea. Having Congress and having different people from different sides and whatever. I believe in that as far as democracy. I think that is a good thing to have. But I think, like your reference, I think the machine is so far gone as far as that goes that I don't think even if we had a president that could do it or had the morality, humility to do it, I don't think he would be able to.
I'm still hopeful, and not to the point where, like, let's say Gavin Newsom as a name. Let's say Gavin Newsom comes along and he's going to bring that. I don't think one guy at one time is going to bring that around.
Yeah.
My hope is that maybe once, twice, three times could move the needle. Like you say, you'll never get it back to zero. Yeah, I think the cat's out of the bag or whatever that saying is. Yeah, I think
we're too far gone to get back,
and that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but I think showing proof of concept would at least show other potential candidates or even other people in Congress and the Senate
that a good guy can win.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I'll make and this is not to boast myself up by any means, but
you're running for president.
I'll make an example of the women thinking that good guys don't exist. Everybody, every woman on the planet thinks that.
My wife thinks they exist.
Until you find one, and then it gives hope of
Correct.
okay, it actually exists. It's possible.
Correct.
It might just be this one out of 10 million guys, but it
does exist.
It at least exists. And I think if you can find a presidential candidate that does hold that morality that people think is gone and doesn't exist anymore, and doing the right thing and actually doing what he says that he's going to do and actually being for the people and not just saying those things to get elected, I think it would, even if he or she doesn't cause change, I think will at least give a light to the rest of us of like, this is possible. And I think, like you said, one or two, maybe three of that in a row consistently.
Yeah.
I think it would start to be like, okay, this is because the governmental machine is really just people pleasing. To be honest, that's really what it is. And who those people that you're trying to please is what makes it the left and the right. But it's all people pleasing. So if you saw,
And let's be honest, there at the time, let's say whatever 6 years ago,
Mhm.
at the time, and prior to that too, the government sucks. The government is screwing me. The
Yeah.
government is screwing me. And you had so much, the government is screwing me.
Mhm.
And here comes a guy that says, we're going to drain the swamp and the government's not going to screw. And he got everybody on board. And good for him.
I said that, and it was so easy because for that point, he already knew what to say.
Yep.
You already had.
I'm a hell of a salesman.
You already had.
To your point.
Social media. You already had a playbook from his first term of all the things that people said that they wish he would have done.
Yep.
Or wish he would have exposed. It was easy. He just had to give everything back to them that they said. He didn't have to do it.
Back to your Tommy boy.
Yeah,
I'm a hell of a salesman, and they're too dumb to understand.
I could take a shit in a box and mark it guaranteed.
Oh, I was
got the time.
I was talking about Big Tom.
Oh well, that
when
too.
He's drunk and he's like 7 in, and he says, "I'm a hell of a salesman," and they're too dumb to. And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's all, and that's what I'm saying. And I think that we're, as a majority, we're starting to really recognize that it's a show. I think for his faults, that's one thing that Trump has really exposed to a lot of America, is that it's all a show.
Yeah.
Is that I can.
But nobody knows that, though.
Well,
you're exactly correct. But nobody has the second thought to that.
I don't think so.
It's all here.
I think it's a side. I really do. I don't think I know I've said this before to you, and I've said this to a lot of people. I have an idealistic mindset that I think that most people are smarter than they perceive and that are inherently good.
But they're lazy.
But yes. But I think more so, it's more of an acceptance of the tribe mindset than really right or wrong. I think that there are people that, and it's been a real Trump heavy episode, but I'm saying that are supporters of Trump that aren't really supporters of Trump. They support a few things that they agree with, but they can't say that because you need to pick a side. You need to be one side or the other. You can't accept one part from here and one part from here and one part. You can't be an individual.
Yeah.
You have to, if you're going to support Trump, you got to support Trump.
You're all in or nothing.
You got to support this.
Yep.
And we've gotten such a, not a tribe, wanting to be a part of the group mentality that I think that even the people that don't agree with a lot of things Trump does, the reason why they don't speak on that is because they still need to be, I support this person.
He's my voice.
Yeah. Even if it's this small part of everything that he says.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And there's no room for nuance. And I think that that is my biggest frustration, not only when it comes to politics, but with people in general, is that I, from a young age, know that there are nuances to everything that goes on. Everything you say, everything you do, everything that happens, it's not black and white. There are things. Your views on America are subjugated by your past, by your experiences, by little words you've been told, by the newspaper article you may have half seen,
The friends you hang around with.
everything.
Mhm.
So just like why I feel like, besides he's like the best at it, why Dave Chappelle can get away with the jokes that he does is because not only does he acknowledge that, but people understand when it comes to comedians that there's nuance, that there are things that just because you say a joke that may make you feel kind of uncomfortable doesn't mean that they really feel that way.
Correct.
Or doesn't mean that anything they've done in their life really exhibits that they feel that way.
Correct.
We all understand. But outside of that realm, it feels to me like most people aren't able, either not able or not willing, to see that there's some nuance to the way people feel. Like the Trump thing. There may be a Trump supporter that wears the MAGA hat, but only agrees with, yeah, Trump said that he would release the JFK files. I believe in that. I really want to see that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It doesn't mean that he believes everything.
Yep.
It just believes that this
That much.
thing
Yeah.
really reached out to me. The same as the same as other things. But we're so boxed in of, you only have one identity as a person, as a society of, you got to be this, you got to pick a side, you got to do this. And these nuanced conversations are, I feel like, being not had anymore because we just want to, as most Americans just want answers. We just want, you believe this, you believe this. I don't have time to sit here and talk about what happened
drive-through fast food.
Yeah, I don't have time to sit here and talk about your past and talk about where you came from and why you believe this and what. Do you believe in this or do you believe in this?
Yep.
And I think it's dangerous because, in my opinion, growing up the way that we grew up, I had a lot of influences, a lot of racial influences, a lot of economic influences, and I had a lot of different type of people in my life. And I did, because it's something that interests me, but I did listen to conversations that adults would have. I did listen to conversations with people that were probably more or less well off than I was. I had different races as friends, so I heard different backgrounds and whatever. And it really influences how you see a certain thing. And I think it's important, and I think that's something that we've lost in America, that it really makes me sad, because I feel like um, it sparks a humanity in you when you start to understand that there's some sort of common bond between everybody, and you just have to figure out what that is. And
that's actually a really good point, that there needs to be a candidate that says and does exactly what you just said, that can reach across the aisle and say, I understand you MAGA people, and this is what you want.
I'll be running next week.
But I also understand your side too. You know, I've had several conversations with friends of mine, and they all say, you're a Democrat. Don't, first of all, don't label me, because that pisses me off. But my counter to that is, really, I said, you know what? If I had to pick, there's two people that I would pick to run for president right now. One won't do it.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Actually, two of them.
To layeth the smacketh down.
Both of the guys I would love to see run won't do it for their own reasons. First of all, and this is what shocks the friends that I'm talking about.
Ron Ekstrand.
Paul Ryan.
It's a good call.
Very intelligent, very money oriented, and he has been asked several times, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a good sign to somebody that should run.
But to my point is, when you call me a Democrat and I'm calling you out and going, I'm telling you, a Republican, this is the guy.
Would probably be the best option.
And people go, what?
What?
Why are you picking him?
Yeah.
Because I want a smart guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I really want a smart guy that knows his shit, knows money. Second person, which I think would be the better candidate, Pete Buttigieg. And the only reason he doesn't qualify is because our country cannot deal with a gay guy.
Yeah.
And you know what? he could be the smartest candidate on the ballot, and our country is just going to, oh, he's great. I can't.
Can I have a can I tell a side story
Sure.
to that? To your America not being ready for a gay candidate, which I think
Or a
both,
woman,
which I think both of those are really good
which
options.
is very disappointing to me. But
to be honest,
I want the best candidate. I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, whatever. I don't care. I just want the best candidate.
Mhm. I'm gonna tell you a story that I thought, given the fact that this was 15-ish years ago, maybe more. So, do you know who Adam Lambert is?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's on American Idol.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Does phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
One in a generation voice. Okay. So he gets to the finals.
Mhm.
He was supposed to win American Idol. You know why he didn't?
Because he was gay.
Because he was gay. But he never came out as being gay. So it was a hush hush thing. Not for him, for the network.
So hold on, I gotta stop
He
you.
never publicly
But you're
said that
saying
he was.
But if I'm following this, and maybe I'm wrong here, so you're saying that it was probably known to the American Idol people,
Yeah, it was.
and American Idol people thought if this guy wins,
It's not. The
and then
world
he
is
comes
not
out,
ready.
whenever he comes out, it's going to look bad on us.
Yep.
And so you're breaking down again the machine again.
Yep. Not necessarily bad. Not necessarily bad for us necessarily, but more of a Marty McFly playing.
Yeah.
Chuck, you guys just aren't ready for it yet.
Exactly.
But so gets second, right?
Uh-huh.
Goes on, gets a record deal anyway because he has a phenomenal voice.
Uh-huh.
So
again, talent should trump everything.
He gets his record deal,
Uh-huh.
making the songs, whatever. He does a lot. I can't remember. It wasn't a music video. I can't remember what it was on. It was on a like award show. He does a song called "I'm Here for Your Entertainment," and in him doing the performance, he like goes down on a guy and like has his hands like on his whatever, right? So nothing said at the award show. His publicist, the machine, his record label, the next day says you need to issue a statement about your sexuality because he never answered it in any of these interviews that he did. He never really answered it because it's not. And he even says that in one. He says that when he's talking about this, he's like, everybody knew. I had no need to tell anybody, whatever. And he was like, and so I did because I don't want to.
Yeah.
And he's like, and everybody just went crazy over it when everybody on Idol knew, everybody that I've been on tour knew, my record label knew, but all of a sudden now that the American public knows, now I have to make a big deal about it. And like, sorry, to the point that you were making though, but that's what I'm saying is like, why does it have to be a spectacle? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm the best candidate. What does it matter if I like pineapple on my pizza?
What? Oh, you want to? I think somebody. I think that would be the most hilarious campaign to just run on.
My pineapple on my pizza means nothing to being the president.
Yeah,
but there's so many people out there that I'm not voting for that
somebody
guy
that likes pineapple.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Can't trust people like
exactly.
that. I think it maybe it might not hit for some people as much, but I think that people really need to sit down and not for face value, but really take a look at watching Primary Colors.
I have that. I own that too. That's one of my favorites.
But there's a lot of things in that movie that if you kind of macro world it and look at that and a lot of things that they talk about in that and then transfer it to our government now, there's a lot of things that you can be like, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
And I said, this is kind of how I feel about the government as a whole. I think that we've gotten, in my opinion, so far away from a helpful government for the American people. that I feel like it's going to be hard to get back to us not just accepting that this is the way life is going to be. And this is just the government we're going to have. This is just how life is going to function. But I said this when Cheryl was talking.
What was the movie?
I had a lot of movie references.
I know. Black and white movie. And then when she has sex or whatever, everything.
I'm in church. Ooh.
Pleasantville. Kind of like
that's good. Yeah.
You can't let put the genie back in the box.
Yeah. And you can't stop the I use this as a reference when I was talking to you the other day about this, is that's where I feel like Trump did more than he thought. He wasn't ready for what he did, in my opinion. I think that he was like, and I'll use the reference I used with you, that there's a horse and a merry-go-round. Somebody like Obama chose the horse because he was like, I can get off it. This one side, these people have my back. I can put in the quarter for my 4 years, 8 years, whatever. I can get out. And Trump went, well, both sides are using the merry-go-round, so they'll both like me if I get on the merry-go-round.
Yep.
And then the merry-go-round doesn't stop. Your quarter goes forever.
Yep.
And I think that was his mistake, is that he used a lot of, well, I know what this side wants. I know what this side wants. So let's just promise both. And not just for the American people, for Congress, for Senate, for I'm going to back your bill, I'm going to back your bill, I'm going to take your money, I'm going to take your money, I'm going to do your investments, I'm going to do all this. If it gets me elected, I'll do it all.
Yep.
And then when you're elected, you can't not, because you promised all of these things.
Correct.
So that's why the dichotomy of when he makes statements where it feels like to the American public that he's just all over the place and can't pick a side and whatever. I understand that because that's how I look at it. Of, yeah, but he's not free thinking himself. He's trying to please both sides because,
and you're believing it,
and you're
whatever you're.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uh oh. I hear little feet.
Yeah, there are tiny feet. But going back to, because of that, I feel like the way we consume information and consume our quote news, I feel like we have to get back to being free original thinkers instead of just accepting what we have and what we're getting. And because I see an article that triggers my brain that has the trigger words of MAGA and Trump and whatever, my brain goes,
there you go. That's me.
I think we need to start researching ourselves and finding out our own information and what we really believe, and that it is okay to believe some things that Trump says without having to go the extra mile. It is okay to have a conversation with a different race without being like, whoa. It is okay to.
How do you get people to believe that again, though?
I don't know. I don't know.
Open your mind again and to believe.
You have to. I feel like we have to make a conscious effort as a country to get back to that's important to us. And if it's not, in my opinion, and if it's not in the American country, if it's not important to us, then let's stop acting like it is.
Yep.
We left Britain, and I said this to you, and this is the biggest thing that bothers me about America as a whole. We left Britain because they were having censorship, they had taxes, and they had overall control of the people. We left that place because we were like, fuck this, I don't want to be controlled. We came to a country and made it exactly like what we left.
Spicoli. This is bogus.
It boggles my mind that our country has transformed into what we originally left, and based on freedom, and that we're able to do everything, and that the American people have been so disconnected that now they see it and they're like, well, yeah, but that's just how our government is. Okay, yeah. But that's not. But
now you've accepted it.
It shouldn't be. We shouldn't let our government just tell us how we're supposed to do things. We shouldn't let our government just be like, well, you can't have a phone anymore because we're the government and we said so.
Because
And we're just like, well, they said so. So what do you want me to do? That's why I feel like what was a big thing for me, and I know this is insignificant to a lot of people, but was a big thing for me of how weird the thought process of like our government is like wholesale really doing something is when they gave the power back to the states for gas prices.
Eh.
That blew my mind. Do you remember, because I do you remember when gas went up to $2?
No.
And it was so people were so mad. And then it went up to $2.50 and they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, the government's just raising gas prices or whatever. The moment they gave it back to the states, do you know how much gas fluctuates in a day?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I can go get $2.50 and in 2 hours, it's like $2.90. And then by the time I get home, it's
$2.36.
Like, yeah, it's fucking nuts. But that just showed, like, to me, at one, I think that was a good idea. But that just shows to me that the government had more of a control than they said they did. And we just accepted it. We just accepted, well, gas is going to be $4 when it's Christmas.
Yep.
So that's just how life is.
Thanksgiving.
But it doesn't have to be.
Correct.
But like you said, to change that, the American people have to actually want that to change. And I think we're too dumbed down for people to want to change.
I would agree with that.
We want people to tell us this is how it is. This is how your life is going to go. And if you don't like it, then you can move somewhere else. Hi, Booberry.
Say hi, Zachy.
Anyway.
Are we?
Sorry. Anyway. We got to wrap up soon, though. We got like 15 minutes. But
I like all the movie references.
Yeah, I do. It was a really movie heavy episode today. But I don't know how we get back to that. I think, like I said, I think that there needs to be I wouldn't say in the same way as the overthrowing the government or leaving to go to another country necessarily, but I think we as a country need to really we need to not be okay with how we're living as a collective, not just one person, not just a group of people, but as a country, we need to get together, and whether we agree on politics or whatever, need to agree that like the way our country is being run is not the way to go. And I think that's a first step. Correct. But that's hard because most people don't have that mentality. That's why when you get into jobs and you go, well, we'll just walk out. It's not a unanimous thing.
I got to pay my bills.
Yeah,
I got rent to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think somehow there needs to be a candidate that comes forward that can successfully play down the middle to say, hey, red people, I get you're feeling this. Hey, blue people, I get your, hey, yellow people, I get this. And be understanding that we're all here for a common goal, and it's not about this, and it's not about this. We need to come together as a...
Or realistic, mainly. I think that's what I would really be looking for. Is I don't need you to say, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix this to appease all of the left. I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix this.
Let's be honest, I can't fix everything.
No, seriously. I would be more willing to vote for somebody that's more realistic and being like, look, I can't do anything about this, but I can try to focus my 4 years on this thing.
Yep.
This common thing that both sides can agree on. I can focus on this. I can't tell you that it will work. I can't tell you that I can fix it 100%. But if you elect me, I will put all of my effort into this one thing. I think I would be more willing to vote for somebody like that than somebody that goes to every candidate rally and says, I'm going to do this, 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 I'm going to do this. And then they get into office and they don't do any of it.
Yep. I'm going to raise your wages. I'm going to lower your taxes. I'm going to lower gas prices. I'm going to do all this. And it's a lie.
Yeah, but
just be honest.
I think more people need to take civics and economics. and really focus on
that
it.
word character back
I'm
in our
just-
vocabulary.
Yeah. Or humanity. Humanity's
Or
a good
both.
one too. It really bothers me that I feel like either the American people are putting it out of their head because they don't want to think, or they're really not putting in the effort. But it really makes me
Or both.
upset when people don't understand how the machine works or how the government works or wants to live in their blinderness. Okay, but I'm saying it wouldn't fall apart if they had a say in it at all.
Ah, you blueberries.
Not if they had a say at all, but there has to be
There's a bubbas.
a high majority of people that are obliviously going to go to work and work paycheck to paycheck and make just enough to keep their head down, to keep working, to survive, to take care of their families.
Yes.
There has to be a vast majority of those people to run the country.
Okay, but I'm
If
saying
there's too many people that have an abundance of wealth, that have an abundance of free time, that have an abundance of whatever, then they start doing other things and, oh, I don't want to only do this. I can be smarter and do this, or I can be more skilled and do this. And then who's gonna do those things
Yeah.
that we all need to run the country?
Everybody wants to be
But-
king.
but that's not what I wasn't
Come
really
here.
saying that. I was saying the ability to see it. I'm not saying change.
Well,
I
what
see you
does it
belly.
matter if you see it? If
Because it's a responsibility if you're making a vote or if you're putting in some sort of input on how the country is being ran, which I understand that there's not as big an influence in one person versus pockets, Senate, Congress, whatever you want to say. But it does still influence to some degree that you are living your life in that don't matter, that nothing matters around you.
There you go.
I argue differently.
Okay.
But what does it matter?
What does it matter that one vote?
At the end,
Have you never seen Swing Vote with Kevin Costner? One vote matters.
Another movie reference.
No, not that the vote doesn't matter, but if, for instance, we've had conversations within our family, if somebody from New Mexico, I just picked a random state, I don't know anything that's going on in that state.
Chattanooga.
Somebody in New Mexico gets shot and killed today.
Hmm.
Me, as somebody in Wisconsin, hours away, that has no people there, has never visited there, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared for my kids because somebody in New Mexico got shot today. I don't feel like that serves, like, as a general concern for well-being of humanity.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like that serves us in our personal lives.
No, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying like, I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't saying like an example like that. I was saying like worldview as far as like how well, I'm trying to be specific because I know what she's going to say to what I just said. The worldview of how the government is moving was my main point. I'm not saying that like I see something happen over here or in this other country or in this other state and that I should immediately think that 100% applies to me in my life. I'm saying at least the acknowledgement, even if you sit at home and go, that's fucked, okay, and move on with your day. The acknowledgement of that this
you actually have to acknowledge that
is
because
happening
if
at
it
some
comes
point.
to your, then you'll have some knowledge of what's going on and not be surprised that it's happening here. When someone calls, we're going to take military order everywhere, then you'll see it coming and you won't be surprised.
But aside from people that build bomb shelters and stack up on militia,
Do you know any of those people? Because I need to get
we need to get some connections.
See if I can get a seat somewhere.
A
What are
seat.
you gonna do?
Get a seat.
What are you gonna physically do in your personal life if they come on the news right now at 7 p.m. and say, hey, everybody's under whatever, and you can no longer do X, Y, Z?
It's not really.
Are you gonna not do? I mean,
it's not really a what
You're
will
going
you
to try
do.
to learn to
It's
live
not-
without the things.
Well, it's not. Well, it's not really a what. It's my problem is
sometimes you
the-
need to.
the getting caught off guard. And I guess my example is if, and this is an example, a hypothetical example. But let's say that all of the conspiracies that Donald Trump is going to make a law that's going to make it so he can be president forever, and he's going to be an overall dictatorship, whatever. Okay? Hypothetically, that's true and going to happen. All the people that are supporting that say that's never going to happen, there's no way that's going to happen, when that happens, are going to be so taken off guard and so betrayed and so like, can't believe I didn't see this coming. Whereas people that, I shouldn't say educated, but
What's the difference is what I'm asking.
the life difference?
Yeah, what's the difference?
Just not being.
If I know that that's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a possibility to happen. If I have no clue, there's no way that the U.S. would ever let that happen, and then it happens.
It's not a fix. That's not what I'm saying. It's the thought process that most Americans want to live in that bliss. That I don't understand. Because whether or not I can do something about it, I don't want, as personally, I don't want to be that person that sits there and, in my opinion, looks dumb and is like, I never could have seen this happening. I'm not saying that would make me change things. I'm not saying that I would be the fixer or want to do these things. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't understand that because I don't want to feel that.
But it's a personal choice for you because there are people, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, there are people that would argue you stressing yourself out about hypothetical situations that could or could not happen is affecting your daily life, or maybe not you particularly, but some people's massively affects their daily life, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be like loss of control over the world, all those things. Some people, it's debilitating how much it affects their lives and their interactions with others and everything like that. Whereas if I am oblivious and I worry about me and my personal life and go throughout my day, maybe I live a better life.
That's true.
For me and my family.
That's fair.
Maybe.
But
then if it happens.
But I would also say to.
I buy filters from that guy. I thought we were watching cartoons.
But I would also. That's a good one.
That's what she's saying.
But I would also say to that though. I would also say in the same way as you don't vote, so you don't get an opinion. I would say if you're going to live in that blissful ignorance, and that's fine, then you don't get to jam your political views down my throat then. Not you personally.
No, I can because this is America and I can do whatever I want.
I'm saying
do whatever they want no matter what.
Yep,
I know, but I'm saying
right now.
Wait. Just because you vote once every 4 years for president doesn't mean that you
know anything.
Not that you don't know anything, but if you see an issue and you're not actively
engaged in it,
trying to fix it,
yeah.
What does it matter? You just see the issue.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of have a problem with people picketing because you make this pretty sign. It probably has a catchy phrase on it. You come out here and say rah, rah, rah for however your time frame is to do it. And then you probably go about your day. What did you do to actually change anything?
Well, that
you
can't
spread awareness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
That would be it.
But
it's the same. But it's the same way as every other American spreads awareness. They just don't do it out in public. There's post upon post upon post upon post on Facebook that people are raising awareness or.
Well, what does it matter?
I'm just saying, it's that. It's
if
putting. it's putting that
you're
out
seeing
there.
a problem and you're not actively engaging to get in the position to fix it, whether it be higher education, whether it be higher office.
It doesn't even have to.
Higher
It doesn't even have to be that. It's just if you're not
to change.
Okay, but that's what I get where you're going, but I'm saying it doesn't even have to be that. If you're, in my opinion, if you're doing that, but you won't vote on your state laws or who gets in there, then it's irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like that's where, and that's what I was saying before about how government works. How government. Don't pick stupid baseball hats. Don't pick either one. People that wear stupid baseball don't pick either one. You're not going to.
Then you pick an independent.
Well, I think the route that you said of making change and making it yourself and getting further education and putting yourself in that position to make change, I think is a good idea. But also, I feel like
Come here.
If you're doing these things, but you're also not involved or even aware of the things going on in your own state that affect those things, I feel like you're just doing it just to be seen, which is where I have a problem with.
So to be in the middle of both of you, so if you don't vote, if you're not a registered voter, are you saying you don't have a right to voice your opinion?
No. I think that you have the right to say whatever you want. I'm just saying that I feel like
I don't think you should have the right to say whatever you want.
Why?
Why?
God, we're on another podcast now.
There used to be rules against hate speech. There used to be rules against.
I think there's
causing a
ruckus.
You can't yell fire. You can't yell fire in a. You can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Yeah, there used to be. Yes, it's free speech, but you can't target somebody. You can't.
There's a humanity and an overall
be a nice person.
Yeah, there's an overall we understand that we're not intentionally hurting people's feelings. I agree.
Do you have a time limit on this?
Yep, it was 5 minutes ago.
Actually, it was 5 minutes ago.
See?
No, I got enough battery. I don't know. Are Mike's still going? Yeah, we're fine.
Am I still green?
Yeah, we're still green. We're still going. We're fine. I deleted all my shit off there. We're fine.
Oh.
Well, no. Free speech. I can say whatever I want.
Whatever.
I think that, and we talked about that earlier before you got here, but I think that is a part because of the mass. I won't go on the whole tangent. I'll sum up. I think of the mass because when we all got that adrenaline dopamine rush of feeling right during COVID, of being able to sit there and whatever. I think we got so used to having that superhero complex of I'm right, I'm saving America, I'm doing this, that now we've lost a lot of humanity because at any point I can open my phone and go and have 50 friends that agree with everything that I say. I can say hate speech. I can say hate speech. I can talk to anybody. I can say it's just a joke or it's my free speech or whatever.
I have
other people be like, yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you. And I feel like that's where we've lost that common. Even if I hurt
the ability for your neighbor or your close vicinity to keep you in check.
Or accepting that, yeah. There are times where your neighbor would be like, hey, and you commonly understand of yeah, I was a little out of line at that point. But now we've lost that. Whereas if somebody were to check you or be like, hey, you need to chill out, we would be like, well, you don't fucking know me. You can't tell me what to do, because we've gotten so focused on our main character, our opinion is right, and that's it. There's no other option.
We started this off by saying that.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability to say, when presented with a different opinion, you can't look at it and say, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
You're totally got blinders on that my opinion is the only opinion.
Well, that's what I said at the beginning. The ability for nuance and the ability to have a conversation and understand that just because I say this thing doesn't mean that I believe all of this part. It believes like I use for reference, just because I say I believe this one thing that Trump said. Doesn't mean I believe everything he's ever said. Doesn't mean that I agree
But
with
that's
all
what you
of
said.
this.
You said you believe Trump.
It means this
I
part.
took this out of
Yeah, that's what I'm
context and
saying.
said you
And we
believe
have no
Trump.
We have no ability to have nuanced conversations anymore, which takes away from the humanity of being able to talk to somebody
One more movie,
that has a different.
The Running Man. When they change his whole
Yeah,
what
this
he
whole
said.
thing.
We need snippets.
I need clips.
I need instant gratification.
Just like when you preach.
Sponsored by Callahan Auto. We make car parts for the American workman because that's what we are. That's what we care about.
And with that,
That was good. That was good.
it's time to say beans and cornbread. Cheryl,
I
if you're
appreciate you
listening,
jumping in.
Cheryl, if you're listening, I really miss the beans and cornbread.
She says it. She says it every time.
Well, maybe I never get to the end.
Yeah, you never get to the end. You see 45 minutes in, and he's like, yeah, I get the point. That's fine.
I gotta watch some Leave It to Beaver.
I got Leave It to Beaver.
I do.
It reminds him of a more wholesome time.
You can
Yes.
believe in multiple different people's perspectives based on their
You can, but
unique
people don't.
existence and reality in life.
I-
Everybody has a different
Perspective.
and different set of experiences in life.
And moralities, for that matter. I totally agree. That was my whole point.
Bye,
Hi,
Buck.
Becky.
Love you.
We're cool.